She's gonna eat the roof. Don't eat the roof of your house.
Suki, please stop. I don't know what to do. Get off the roof.
Suki, stop eating the roof.
Oh my gosh.
Get down.
Go make her get off of there.
Suki,
hey.
Get down. I'll go get the ladder.
Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Cinema Crush.
Hello. I'm Jacob Salisbury.
And I'm Emily Salisbury.
And it's a spooky episode.
I don't like that laugh.
It's my spooky laugh.
It's very spooky.
Well, good.
Anyway.
Welcome to Cinema Crush.
Welcome to Cinema Crush. This is a podcast where we watch movies and stuff and talk about it.
Yeah, we take turns sharing what we like each week, and this week is your turn.
Yeah, it's my turn. And I had a bunch of different options this week, but I think I settled on something that will be quite fun. We're doing a double feature this week.
Double feature?
Yeah. I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but let's tell the people what's going on in our lives.
Not much.
I mean, we're going to a concert tonight.
That's true. Emily bought me tickets to a concert for my birthday, and that's tonight.
I'm gonna try to do National Novel Writing Month this year.
That's right.
So if you follow me on Instagram, which you can find through our Cinema Crush account, I'll probably be posting about it over there. But I'm going to try to write a story, which feels vaguely relevant to our podcast because, we're talking about stories in film.
Similarly, I've been working on an animated short film. I don't have many updates to post yet, but hopefully in the next couple months you'll see more of that and hear more of that.
Do you think you're going to be, posting incremental updates on it or anything that we can share?
I think so. I think I'll just do it in, parts, because, originally I thought, what if I did, a weekly update, but then that kind of detracts from my productivity of actually working on the film.
Right.
So I think I'm just going to do, every major update I have.
Yeah, it does become a little bit of a chore to have to, update social media constantly.
Mm-hmm. There's a balance between, keeping people informed and, not doing anything besides posting stuff.
Yeah. Suki, do you have any updates for the podcast? What does that mean? Suki got a new house.
She did get a new house.
Yeah. I found her a little, cat shop thing at Target. Because I don't know about any of you who have cats, but, if I go to Target and they have new cat stuff, I have to look at it. And if it's under, $20, I will buy it. But also, we did have this big, ugly cardboard box that I had cut a hole out of so that Suki could sleep in it. And this looks much nicer. So, and it has little scratchers for her.
And it's got 2 levels.
It's got 2 levels. It's a little apartment for her. An apartment within our apartment.
Apartmentception.
She's very spoiled. She is a co-host on this podcast.
But that's our lives.
Yeah, that's everything that's going on right now. So, I have some movies to show you.
I have no idea what these are. You haven't told me anything.
Yeah. Well, you've seen one of these because last year on Halloween, we did watch it because it was quite popular among our friend group. I'm showing you a double feature. Technically, one of these isn't a movie. It's more of a short film. Neither of them are a full hour. Which is why I'm doing them as a double feature, because otherwise this would be a much shorter episode. So the first short film I want to show you is a prequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated film that came out in 1966, which you have seen.
I have seen. It is something, and it's called Halloween is Grinch Night.
It sure is.
I bet some of you didn't know that existed.
Nope.
Because
So,
I didn't at all until last year.
like I said, this is a prequel. It's called Halloween is Grinch Night. It came out in 1977, but it was also re-released as It's Grinch Night for a 1992 video cassette release, and just as Grinch Night for a sing-along video cassette release. There was also another prequel, I guess you could call it, called The Grinch's the Cat in the Hat. Same kind of vibe as the other two, where it's the animated Grinch.
Is it the same animation studio?
I think so.
Are we gonna watch that one?
No.
I didn't know about that one.
I don't know where to find that
The
one.
Grinch lore deepens.
That one came out in 1982 on ABC. And it is also a musical. All of these are musicals. So the thing about Halloween is Grinch Night is it's a fever dream. I don't really know how to summarize whatever semblance of a plot this does have beyond it's similar to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, except with a Halloween flair. This is a approximately 30-minute running time, and there are 9 songs, like vocal songs, in this entire thing. So it's mostly songs. Also, the songs and the score were composed by a Sesame Street composer. So there's some connections there. But I think that this is one that speaks for itself. And I mostly want to bring it so that if people haven't watched it, they will be encouraged to go watch it. You can find the whole thing on YouTube. If you search Dr. Seuss Halloween is Grinch Night, like I said, it's like 26 minutes runtime. So if you find one that's about that long, that's probably it. There are a variety of different qualities of this short on YouTube. Hopefully I can find a good enough one for us to watch.
It's quite an experience. I have actually forgotten most of what happens in it from last year.
Like I said, it's not very long.
And then October rolls around and my Halloween brain flips on and says, oh yeah, Halloween is Grinch Night.
Oh yeah, it's a good night for eyebrows.
It is a good night for eyebrows, which is a real line.
Oh, the one last fact about this is that it was released as a Halloween special, but the word Halloween is never mentioned. I don't think even like All Hallows Eve is mentioned or anything.
No, it's just Grinch Night.
It's just Grinch Night. And there's no trick-or-treating, there's no candy, nothing. It's just the Grinch coming to terrorize the Who's with his monsters. So that is the basic introduction to that.
What's the second one you're showing me?
I don't think you have seen this.
Okay.
But if you have, let me know. So this is a 6-episode series that was released for McDonald's.
Oh?
Called The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald.
I have never seen this.
Animated by Klasky Csupo, the company that did Rugrats. A lot of the same voice actors appear in this series, and a lot of the music is also borrowed from Rugrats. But it's basically a series that was designed to air on the TVs in the play place at McDonald's. And I think only the episode I'm going to show you was ever released externally from that. I'm sure you can find the other ones now, but this is the one that was put out as a special thing that people could watch. And then the other ones were all just for the play place at McDonald's.
So we're going to get Grinch lore and McDonald's lore tonight?
Exactly. So a bunch of really obscure animated content. The difference between the two is that the Grinch I discovered as an adult from my friend group. And this one I actually did watch when I was a kid. I don't even know where. I don't know where I found this. It was probably some VHS tape that my grandma had or something like that. There are other people that I know who have since seen this, like my college roommate, Katie. I thought about this short because she posted about it on her Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know what I'm doing.
Well, thanks, Katie.
Yeah. So, like I said, Klasky Csupo, Mark and Bob Mothersbaugh, they did the music for Rugrats. And then John Holmquist directed at least the first episode of this series, which is the one I'm going to show you. This is a 40-minute episode, and the episode we're going to watch is called Scared Silly, which is a Halloween-themed episode. All of the episodes of this series were written to have, like, some message about friendship. And we get all of the classic Ronald McDonald characters in it. So we get Ronald, there's a dog named Sunday, there's the Nugget Kids.
The Nugget Kids?
There's the Fry Kids. There's Hamburglar.
Now, are the Nugget Kids and the Fry Kids like rival gangs?
I don't remember, but I feel like that might be the vibe. I genuinely... Also, the Fry Kids only show up in this specific episode of the series.
Oh,
they're
there's the spooky Fry gang.
Well, I think they're just there. I don't think it's about them being spooky.
So you're telling me that there is a McDonald's Clown Halloween special?
Yes.
We're getting Kids It tonight?
Yeah, basically. There's a spooky haunted house. There's a ghost that they have to evade. And there's, I think, like 4 songs or something like this in it. But it's really great. Also, you know the Klasky Supo logo? That's like the splat with the eyeballs in the mouth and it like makes a little gibberish noise.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
The one that appears at the end of the Rugrats episodes.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember
that's
that?
Gonna be haunting
my gosh.
my mind.
This thing, I'm showing him a visual, but it's a...
Let me describe this to you.
Yeah, please describe.
So it's a saturated purple background with a black splatter. Mm-hmm. On the splatter are like photoreal teeth and lips, like cut out. It looks like it's cut out of a magazine and just slapped on there. And then there's also like these huge eyes.
Yeah. No
eyelids, just like eyes set in to paper.
Maybe, do you want me to try to get the soundbite of what this thing is like?
Do I want to hear it?
It will unlock
this
memories.
Is the spookiest thing I've ever seen. Wow. And this is their logo for their company.
So that's the Klasky Supo logo. Apparently the stuff it says is just the name of the company, which I just realized now. However, this is the first time that logo ever shows up. So...
Wow, historic.
Like, you know, when you're watching like a kid's TV show and at the end there's all the logos and you just have this like deep memory of all of those logos, like the Hi, I'm Paul logo at the end of Jimmy Neutron. That's what this is for me. So I wanted to make note of it because it's very important. The other thing to prepare you for this is that it's partially live action and partially animated.
Oh.
So it starts out live action and then has the animated portion makes up most of it.
There's a high production budget here.
Yeah. I don't know like how they managed to do this.
I mean, it's McDonald's, they've got money.
Yeah.
McDonald's has made video games in the past, so I'm not surprised that they have an animated series with a spooky Halloween special.
Yeah. And jumping forward in time, so from the 70s where we have the Halloween is Grinch night, this one came out in 98, right around the beginning of October. So this one is...
almost as old as I am.
Yeah. So it's been around, but... I think that's all I want to give you before we watch these things.
Let's go down this brain trip.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot, so I think you're going to need to...
This is probably the shortest that we've watched, but I think it's going to be the most overstimulated I've ever been.
Yeah, so this will be about an hour and a half of video content. Both of them are on YouTube. If that tells you anything about how much anyone cares about
the copyright of these things.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to release these, but we're going to review them.
Yes. So I'm very excited to show both of these to you.
Well, let's get into it. And we'll see you after the break.
See you then. Spooky.
Woo!
Oh.
It's intermission time.
Welcome to the spooky intermission. I'm not going to keep that voice up the whole time, don't worry. Hey, it's Emily. I'm back at it with you for the intermission. Just me this time, since this is my episode. So I just have a couple of announcements for you before we get back into the podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to support the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cinema Crush Pod. That's at Cinema Crush Pod, all one word. We'll be posting updates there and sharing things we love. So if you have questions or feedback, you can tweet at us, DM us, comment on posts, or respond to stories that we put out. We always love to hear from you. We plan on publishing episodes bi-weekly, so look for us again in 2 weeks with a new episode. We will soon be discontinuing our Rings of Power series, so we will truly be back to bi-weekly after that's over. We really appreciate you for listening and giving this podcast a chance. If you have a ghoul, a ghost, a werewolf, a vampire in your life that you think would enjoy this podcast, go ahead and send it their way. We'd love to have more people listening and interacting with our podcast. I think that's all I have for this episode. Let's get you back to the podcast for our review and reflection on this double feature of horror-filled goodness.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Wow, what's that for?
Oh, nothing. I've just seen things that I can't unsee.
I see. I will admit, watching nostalgic things from one's childhood and trying to show them to somebody else feels very much like trying to make someone understand your whole memory of that thing. Because, like, obviously you can't jump inside my brain and understand, like, as a kid, watching the things that I'm nostalgic for that are, like, not very good, but I watched them as a child and picked up on some, like, weird details of the animation or the sound design that are just, like, things that my brain pings on now and are like, do you remember back when it was easier and you were a child and all you had to do was watch Ronald McDonald on your VHS tape? Do you remember? Here's some serotonin. Good job. That's what I'm trying to evoke, but unfortunately you haven't seen these things as a child too.
No.
So
I don't know how I missed the Ronald McDonald series.
I don't know either.
But that one just kind of flew by.
I'm sure you probably
I watched Rescue Heroes.
yeah, right. So like you were part of that, like, I don't know, boom of low quality animation.
Excuse me. Low quality.
Listen, I've seen the Rescue Heroes intro theme. I would not call it high budget, but that's kind of what makes those things great, honestly. Let's talk about Halloween's Grinch Night first, because that's the one we talked about first before, and I think that makes the most sense. This is one that neither of us grew up with. We were introduced to it about a year ago by some friends, and boy howdy. So, Halloween is Grinch Night is a bit of a trip. It doesn't really feel real, and I don't really know why they made it. I'm not, I genuinely just don't. What is the process? What is the thought process? What was the writing process?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the credits, did it say that Dr. Seuss wrote this screenplay?
Yeah. So this is a Dr. Seuss, like, prequel.
It's not a book, though. Is it? Is there a book called Halloween is Grinch Night? Because as far as, like, the lyricisms of the thing we watched goes, it's probably the worst Dr. Seuss content I've ever heard.
I think it's just the special.
I think it is too, and I don't think they gave him a lot of time to write it.
No.
It
is written by him, though.
It's written by him. It feels like they gave it to him, like, the week before.
Yeah.
And
they were like, do your Dr. Seuss thing.
And he was like, sure.
Yep, let me just write up some rhymes like
Skrunkle and Grunkle.
and euphemism. I don't know what it rhymes with, but it's there. We've got an entire family of Ayas. Euchariah, Jedediah, I don't remember. Mariah,
Yep.
Josiah, Isaiah, I don't remember. Stuff like that. The main character is Euchariah.
They do say his name enough, though, that I remember it, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, this is true. There are a lot of characters with a lot of names, but the only ones I remember are the Grinch, Max, and Euchariah.
And that's really all that matters.
That's really all that matters. Because the plot of this short is fairly simple, and yet very complicated.
So let me try to piece together this Grinch lore.
give me what did you understand from this?
So as far as the development of Whoville, like Whoville's not really a huge bustling town that we see in the Christmas one. The town is actually quite small at this point, and it's still just a few, it seems like just a few families, you know, which may be an intentional choice or just because they didn't have the budget to draw an entire town. But there's the Grinch on the same mountain, still angry at the Who's and noise and all that.
Although the noise that happens is not directly caused by the Who's.
No, it's
just
just
not their fault.
It's just a natural occurrence, but he takes it out on the Who's anyway.
Yeah, because I feel like the Grinch in this one is just kind of a guy who thrives on others' pain. And if he does not receive that, he is very inconvenienced.
Yeah. But the Grinch just has a wagon full of monsters.
Yeah. You know.
Like straight up monsters.
As you do. You don't have a wagon full of monsters?
No.
That you make your dog pull down a mountain?
I don't. Oh my gosh, can we talk about the Max song in this? So there's a lot of songs in this.
There's a lot of songs in this, and we'll get to the Max song. Because it's quite possibly the most depressing song I've ever heard. I think we need to set this up. Because we talked about the noise.
Yeah, so the noise comes and it makes the animals loud. I guess.
That's like the most complicated series of events pared down to the very simplest sentence.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens because it's a bunch of Dr. Seuss rhymes, but there's a chain of events that happens when the sour sweet wind blows. Mm-hmm. And it makes everything loud.
Yeah, it makes everybody scream and yell. And the Grinch does not like that very much. And he gets very excited because he gets to go Grinching.
And he gets his paraphernalia wagon.
Yeah, his paraphernalia wagon.
As he calls it.
And we get the most iconic quote, quite possibly, of this entire short. Which is, "It's a good night for eyebrows."
It's a wonderful night for eyebrows.
It's even better.
It's a wonderful night for teeth.
Yeah. It's really good, and it's a wonderful night for Grinching. Please incorporate this phrase into your casual conversation. It's a good night for eyebrows. It's a wonderful night for eyebrows. Whichever one you choose. Both are very good. But I feel like this short implies that the eyebrows are the one driving the Grinch. Because there's another song that he sings later where he's just like singing gibberish, but his eyebrows come free of his face and just fly around him.
Yeah.
And I feel like the eyebrows are truly the Grinch. Yeah, they are the thing controlling him.
That's the other thing. The Grinch has magic?
Yeah, he's got Grinch magic.
He's magical now?
Yeah. He's, yeah, why not?
But Max pulls the wagon, as he always does.
Yeah.
And it leads into this, like, POV Max song, and it's the most depressing thing.
Yeah, because he's what is the...
He's just like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Why am I with this abusive person?
Yeah.
Why can't I have a nice family like I used to?
His auntie puppy was or something.
And, like, it goes into this, like, where Max came from,
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess he used to be from a nice home.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know how he ended up with the Grinch.
There are a lot of really bizarre themes in this short, and one of them is Max is in an abusive relationship that he can't escape. Max really is the one doing the most in this short. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it, because then he's back with the Grinch in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and he's still miserable. So, like, we don't have any character development.
I mean, at the end of the Christmas one, he's happy, I guess.
Yeah, because the Grinch is nice, but that doesn't excuse his past. That's not how this works. We have to hold Grinches accountable for their Grinching. They don't just get to be part of society again. This is a crime, and only Euchariah can stop it.
Euchariah really is just, like, a progressive, like...
Euchariah does not want to face the facts.
Euchariah challenges society in ways that no other Who can.
Euchariah needs to put on his glasses and face the facts. That's what he needs to do. Which is something that both Euchariah's grandpa and the Grinch tell him. Because Euchariah, a small Who, much like Cindy Lou Who, takes off his glasses and says, I think I like how things look better this way. And then he is told many times, put your glasses back on and face the facts. And that's what I tell myself every time I don't want to face the facts. I think of that scene.
Well, and he does face the facts. He goes and confronts the Grinch.
Well, not on purpose. That sour sweet wind is really the Deus Ex Machina
I'm
here.
convinced Euchariah knew what he was doing when he exited that door. He's the one who told his family to call the, like, Grinch Watcher.
Yeah.
Who's another character in this that, like, just expounds on the Grinch lore. Because there's just a guy posted up watching the Grinch 24/7 and, like, raises the alarm whenever he's out.
Yeah, and he just gives you updates, like a tornado watch, on where the Grinch is. And apparently the Grinch has not yet found him. He also doesn't really, like, stop the Grinch from doing anything. He's just kind of watching, which I guess is for his own safety. But I don't know. Euchariah kind of handles everything pretty well.
Yeah, he kind of just blocks the path that the Grinch is going down several times and, like, stops him and asks him questions.
Yeah, he's basically just like, if I can stall him long enough, the wind will stop blowing and the animals will stop screaming and he will go away, because that is how it works, apparently.
I would have loved the ending of this to be like the sour sweet wind stops blowing and all the animals quiet down. He's like, ha, you can't do your Grinching anymore. There's no sour sweet wind. And the Grinch is just like, no, I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna terrorize your town.
I've gotten this far.
Like, I'm not stopping Euchariah.
You can't stop me. Nothing can stop the Grinch.
I brought my monsters in my wagon. Which Euchariah doesn't seem very fazed by.
No. And I mean, quite frankly, so there's this sequence. Because Euchariah is like, I want to know what's in this cart. And the Grinch is like, are you sure?
Are you sure you could handle the cart?
And Euchariah faces it. And he has a drug trip, basically.
It's like Pink Elephants on Parade meets... What's another trippy animation sequence?
The one in Winnie the Pooh, the Heffalumps.
Yeah, that's it. It's like Elephants on Parade and, like, Heffalumps and Woozles like had a weird child.
A weird deformed child.
A weird Halloween child.
Because it doesn't have, like... There are a lot of weird little creatures that pop out. It feels very, like, artsy almost. Because it's, like, clips of strange Salvador Dali-esque creatures running around making weird noises, and then it'll just, like, cut to a freeze frame of some vaguely creepy creature, and then immediately, like, it. Yeah, I don't know who edited it, but it is a piece of art.
It's something.
It's something.
But he stops him, and then Max goes with Euchariah.
Yeah. So this is where I'm confused, because Max has a full character arc in this, and he leaves the Grinch. But then in the movie that is supposedly the sequel to this, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Max is back with him. I guess that's just how relationships go, though.
Although, if the Grinch was immortal, bear with me. Let's say the Grinch is this immortal
Where
being.
is this going?
The town of Whoville is not yet fully developed as we see it in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. What if the Max in How the Grinch Stole Christmas is not the same Max that we see in the Halloween special? What if he just keeps getting the same type of dog and naming it Max because he's lonely and depressed and he can't bear the thought of somebody leaving him?
That is a theory. I don't know what Dr. Seuss intended for this.
I think Dr. Seuss wrote this, like, the night before.
Yeah.
Like a college student writing a paper.
This is, very lack of sleep induced. Much to think about. But, no mention of Halloween anywhere in this special. It is simply Grinch Night.
Just Grinch Night.
But the spooky implication that something bad will happen remains there. And also kind of like vaguely puritanical vibe, because, we've got an entire family of people named things like Euchariah and Mariah. So I guess if your theory is correct, that would make sense to have like some settlers that have very old-timey names, and then later on.
I need to watch, you know what I need to watch is Horton Hears a Who. Because they go over, like, the history of the Who's and, like, the mayors of Whoville.
Yeah.
And I wonder if any of these names pop up at any point.
Maybe. I guess that...
Because that would play into my immortal Grinch theory.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to deep dive into that, but that's for another episode.
Do you want to rate both of these at the end, or do you want to rate this one now?
I think I need to do it now.
Okay, let's rate Halloween is Grinch Night.
I'm fresh out of the gate. I am gonna give Halloween is Grinch Night I really want to rate it well because I want people to watch it.
But in good conscience, I don't think you can.
I think it's maybe like 4 eyebrows out of 10. 4 wonderful eyebrows. Not to say that that's bad. And I think this is a situation where your rating system prevails, because this is definitely a so bad it's good.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even bad. It's not that it's like awful or anything.
No,
it's just so.
It's just bizarre.
Off the track, unhinged. Like, I don't know where this train is going, but I want to go there.
This is Dr. Seuss unfiltered.
Yeah, this is really weird, and you should not show it to your children. Please don't. You will scar them. They will have nightmares, because the imagery in this is very confusing and scary. But, like, not. So, I don't know. I just think about it a lot. Anyway, what's your rating?
So, as a reminder of my rating system, it's on a scale of -5 to 5. 5 being the best it could be, 0 being the worst, and -5 being so bad it's good. And I'm so glad I have this scale, because I would give Halloween is Grinch Night a -4 out of 5.
Wow.
Because, boy, is it bad. But, man, if you have the right people to watch this with, it's a time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a second one here. This one was a little bit longer. This was, what is the full series title? Hold on. Hold for Google.
All right. Da-da-da. Scene transition. Musical number.
The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. As we discussed, this is a special series produced for pretty much exclusive view in McDonald's restaurants. Restaurants? I guess that's what they're called, huh? They don't really feel like it, but alright. In McDonald's restaurants, in the play place. Every time I think about this series, I'm brought back to, like, the McDonald's play place with, like, the setup of, like, several little video game stations that you could play at, like the Tack and the Power of Juju video game, and they'd have like little TVs in there that they'd be playing, so they don't do that anymore.
Nah.
Which is so disappointing.
COVID ruined that one.
Yeah. But the play places are still disgusting, so.
Oh, they've always been disgusting.
That's still
There's
there.
no question of that. Although, I will say, I feel like my viewing of this episode would have been enhanced if I were sitting in a ball pit.
Absolutely. This is Scared Silly. This is the first episode of this special series. There are 6 episodes.
This is the first?
This is the first episode.
This is the one they kick it off with.
And this is the only one, like I said before, this is the only one that was not exclusively released in McDonald's restaurants. So this one has like a VHS tape that they distributed.
Wild that they started on an episode like that.
And this is Klasky Supo, so I'm sure you recognized the, like, Rugrats / Real Monsters art style of this.
It is very Rugrats. Like, I'm surprised how well Ronald McDonald translates into that style.
Yeah.
Because he looks really good.
Yeah.
Grimace also looks fine.
There's something about this series, and, like, maybe this is the capitalist indoctrination talking, but something about the era of McDonald's that had all of these characters at the forefront, where like you would go into a McDonald's play place for somebody's birthday, and all of the like birthday stuff would have these characters on it, and they had like little murals of the characters in the McDonald's. There's just something so like cozy and nostalgic about those memories.
There's a smell for me.
Yeah.
I can smell it.
And
I know
this...
what it is, and it's probably pee and germs.
No, it's the French fries. Because the
No.
French fries were different. The French fries used to be made with, like the grease that they used to fry them in was made with, like, beef. And then a bunch of people complained about cholesterol, and they changed it to be vegetable based. So they were significantly like different, and for people who were eating those French fries before, worse. And I feel like the smell of the French fries that were cooked the original way has such like a distinct memory for me.
I just remember the smell of the play place more than the French fries.
The play place, anywhere, the plastic that it's made of just has like the collective sweat of 1,000 children. And I think it's that smell, you know? It's just like, those things don't get sanitized. They just absorb everything.
No, what, you're an employee at McDonald's. What, you want to go clean the play place?
You want to go crawl through the play place and clean up kid pee? No, thank you. That's the one who gets the short end of the stick.
Yeah, draw French fries.
Imagine
who gets the short fry.
The things you would find in the ball pit.
I can't imagine.
Used Band-Aids, diapers, socks.
Maybe COVID bringing germ awareness around is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. But, like, I also have a lot of vivid memories of McDonald's play places. Because that's, like, it's free. Like, all you have to do is go there and get really cheap food, and you can set your child free into the jungle of plastic and elastic
and whatever
webs and slides, and hope that you don't hear them crying in 10 minutes. You know? I feel like whenever we become parents, that's going to be something that we're going to have to, like, that's going to be a milestone, is, like, our child is old enough to take them to a McDonald's play place and just set them free and trust that they're not going to die, you know? It's like a rite of passage. Anyway, Scared Silly. So, the basic plot of this is that Ronald McDonald and his best friend, the dog, Sunday, have a discussion about watching things that are scary, and that it's okay to be scared, but, like, you don't need to expose yourself to scary things if you don't want to. But then we come to the conclusion at the end that friendship helps things be less scary. And so Sunday was watching a scary movie at the beginning of this. And by the end, he's watching the sequel with Ronald, and he is significantly less terrified because Ronald, his best friend, is there watching it with him. Which I can't help but feel a little bit of deja vu, because we did just watch The Shining last night, and two of the people we were watching it with needed people to be with them to watch it so that it would be less scary. So I'm like, man, Ronald McDonald knows what he's talking about. It's true. Friendship makes things less scary.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Or sometimes more scary.
Sometimes more scary, because sometimes your friends heckle you, much like Hamburglar did to everyone. Because essentially, so there's this girl character, Tika, and she invites Ronald and all of his friends on a camping trip. So they head out to the far-flung forest. Mind you...
Singing along the way.
Mind you, this short starts in live action, and then Ronald and his dog friend Sunday, who is a puppet, with very scary, realistic human eyes.
Oh my gosh, this puppet guy is the most terrifying part of this.
He is truly like the style of Our Real Monsters realized in real life. Like, I don't know if you could see it.
Those 2D designs were not meant to be in puppet form.
But
it has teeth and eyes like a human.
And lips.
Yeah. And it's the worst. And I can't tell how exactly it's operated. Because it looks like there's just a small person inside.
Yeah, it really does.
And I really don't know. And, it's the 90s. They didn't care.
No.
That might have been the case.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I don't know if there would be anything about it out there.
I don't know.
Especially because the live action parts of this are not super long. Because after the camping trip is planned, Ronald and Sunday head down the slide into the garage, and at that point we transform into the classic Rugrats animation style, Klasky Supo animation style, which I really love.
It's a unique style.
It's a unique style, and I love all of the cartoons by this company, and so I love this style a lot. Yeah, and then they head out to the far-flung forest, they sing songs, they
set up their tents.
They get chased by a bear, shenanigans ensue.
And then a spooky mansion.
Yeah. A storm hits, and they need somewhere to shack up for the night, so they find this spooky laboratory / mansion.
Yeah. Well, this episode felt like it was going in a direction, and then it rapidly turned in a different direction for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, we're going camping. It's going to be like spooky in the woods. And then no, absolutely not.
I don't know. I don't know if you noticed the intricate plot devices of this episode, but
Tika's the mastermind.
She's the mastermind, because they're hiking out to their campsite, and a walkie-talkie falls from her backpack. And Birdie asks her what it is, and she says, "Oh, it's just a walkie-talkie. I thought we could try it in case we got separated. Now, where did I put the other one?" She says it in a very suspicious way. And later, we find out that Tika was the mastermind behind this whole operation, because she has a friend who's up in this mansion, and he's some kid genius, and he wants to play games with people, like mind games.
He's supposed to spook people.
So she invited everybody out on this camping trip to lure them up to this house to make them play the games, so that she could try to play the games and try to see how far she could get through it.
It's basically Kid Saw.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Honestly, that's probably the most, I haven't seen Saw, but, I get the general concept.
Yeah, there's, puzzles and games, and if you're wrong, then you get tossed down the chute.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
just like that. Can you make that noise again? Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. So, but then we find out that it was all just a game, and, everybody learns the lesson that things are less scary when you're with friends. So that's pretty much everything that happens in the episode. But there are a lot of songs. And they're not bad.
They're not good either.
They're not good, but they're not bad. They're not, like, objectively bad. Like, I haven't heard them in a while.
I mean,
and I
thought they were kind of bad, but...
I thought that they were going to be worse, is the thing here. And they were better than I remember.
I think they were just under my bar of expectation.
Yeah. Alright. Got some high standards for a children's.
If you're hiring the same studio that does Wild Thornberries and Rugrats, I'm expecting, like, something out of it. If you're doing a song.
Yeah, well, and they did write the music for this, but you gotta fit 5 songs or so into a 40-minute special. So, I don't know how good they're gonna be. But, I remember them very nostalgically. And all of the scene changes and stuff, I also remember.
Well, do you want to give it a rating?
You go first.
Okay. So with my -5 to 5 rating system, I would probably give this a -2 at best.
I think that's fair.
It's not a great series. It's not something I'm going to come back to. It's fun. I like the style, but it's kind of just generic 90s garbage.
And it's McDonald's
And it's McDonald's flavored.
Yeah. I will give it I think I'll give it just under the Grinch. So I'll give it a 3. Because I feel like the Grinch is bizarre enough.
The Grinch keeps me intrigued.
Yeah, I would come back to that as, like, a tradition. This one is, like, if I wanted some nostalgia, I would come back to it. Because it very much, like, has a lot of memories associated with it. But if I was looking for something animated to watch, this would not be it. Mostly also because the versions of it that are available online are not great quality. Like, if I really wanted to come back to it, I would, like, hit up my roommate from college for her VHS tape of it, because it's much better quality. Like, you can actually see the characters' faces. But thanks for reminding me of this one, Katie, if you're listening, because we watched this together in college, among many other things that I'm sure I will bring to this podcast, including the Barbie movies. I will definitely have to make sure she listens for those episodes.
I'm very excited to watch those with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'll say with the things you've presented to me in this episode, they look a lot better with my glasses off.
You gotta put your glasses on and face the facts, Euchariah. Face the facts.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks again for dropping in, and we hope you've enjoyed the evening as much as we've enjoyed having you here. Till next time, please drive carefully, and good night now.